Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we got the Superstar Origins event released in NHL's Hockey Ultimate Team. This is the first real event in NHL, and I want to put together a very in-depth video that will help you explain exactly the new ins and outs, as a lot of change has happened from NHL 21's event. So if you are new to HUT or you need some help understanding how this all works, this is the video for you. Guys, this is a very long video. There is timestamps down below. I go through every card, every master set, how to acquire them, all of the sets, and including the packs in the store and if they're worth getting after. So make sure you guys check that out down below, and please subscribe. We're on the road to 30,000 on YouTube. I appreciate you. And if you want to come check me out live on Twitch, I stream every single day, twitch.tv/nosleeves12. Let's get into the Superstar Origins event. All right, first let's go through all of the new cards for the event. All right, we'll kick things off with the 80 of Frederick Olesen, 6'1", with Fly the Zone and the Thunderclap Superstar ability. As a right defenseman, 82 speed with that synergy activated. His endurance only 73. His shot above 80 isn't bad, but everything else that you kind of need for a defenseman just isn't there. So this would be a hard pass. If you packed him, I would use him for sets. Next up, we've got the 81 Kent Nielsen, 6 foot with wingman and the puck on a string superstar ability. He's got 83 speed, 85 acceleration, and then low to mid 80s shooting. Everything else in the same kind of range as well. Again, same kind of situation. He is listed as a centerman, so you're not going to be able to use him at center. So again, this would be a sell or put into sets. Then we've got one of my favorite players of all time, the 81 Evgeny Nabokov with Spark and post-to-post. Low-key, the only superstar ability, or zone ability in my opinion, that is of interest to me is the post-to-post ability, because that allows them to get over to stop one-timers. But at only 6 foot, Evgeny Nabokov unfortunately just doesn't fit the bill if you're looking to put a competitive goaltender in net, unfortunately. His stats aren't terrible, but yeah, you're not going to be able to use him and expect a dominant performance. Then we've got the 81 Capo Caco with Applesauce and the Big Rig Superstar ability. Big Rig is a very good superstar ability, but you actually have to know and learn how to actually activate it correctly and take full advantage of it. I'm going to have a full video this week that will go over all of that, so if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. All right, he's got 84 speed, 84 acceleration, 82 agility. He's got great size, though, at 6'3", and a decent shot if you get Applesauce activated, passing and hand-eyes, okay? Honestly, if you're a Rangers fan, you could use this, or if you've just started your team, essentially, as long as he's cheap enough, you might be able to, but I wouldn't pay anything more than like 2 or 3K. But yeah, this isn't an awful card because of his size. Defensively, he's going to be pretty good. Then we've got the 82 Jonathan Quick. Nothing to see here. Easy quick sell. No, I'm just kidding. All right, he's got Distributor and the Contortionist superstar ability. I haven't talked about goalies much yet. The one thing I will say, much like my thought on offensive and defensive players, superstar abilities and zone abilities, I'm not a big fan of a lot of zone abilities because of their cost. You can get almost your entire team full of superstar abilities, which are half as effective, but that's still a significant advantage over your opponent. So, well, this card specifically, with Distributor, which is helpful. A lot of players need that. And Contortionist, as a superstar ability, it's only 2 ability points. This isn't an awful card, but it's still at 6'1". You're gonna use somebody else. Next up, we've got Jacob Chikrin with the Buzzing Synergy. Has the 1T option on the superstar ability, which I actually like more than Thunderclap, from the point that speed is awfully tough, especially for the majority of the player base. Like, I've said this quite a few times, that when I talk to and recommend cards, you have to remember the demographic I'm talking to. So if you're outside of Division 3 or Division 3 and below in NHL 21, it's going to be very difficult for you guys to use these cards specifically, because bigger, slow guys are extremely effective, but you have to know the positioning and what to look for. And don't worry, I have videos coming that will explain all of that. So that is why I kind of harp on speed over anything, because no matter what, even if you're not very sound defensively and you don't really understand where to be and things like that, speed overrides that, and you can really just get back quickly. I think that's why I put more of such a priority on speed for my audience. But this one specifically, again, same kind of situation. If I packed him, I'd take a look at what he's going for in the auction house, and then I'd probably put him into a set or sell him. Then we've got the 83 Brad Richards with Thief and Third Eye as his superstar ability. Thief does make him pretty interesting defensively. He has got +5 on the draw and defensive awareness and stick checking at 92 and 93. 85 speed, 85 acceleration is enough early on in the game, and he's got a decent shot. This is a low-key pretty nice card that you can put anywhere in your lineup on the wing or at center and be pretty effective. So I think that for free-to-play players, this might be a nice one to go get. We'll take a look at what he's going for in the auction house right now. I'm kind of curious. So we're looking about 4K. That's not a bad card. Like anything, I would say 5,000 and below. I would not spend any more than 5,000. Next, we've got the 83 TJ Oshie with well-rounded and the all-alone superstar ability. Not gonna lie, in terms of combinations, these are probably the worst because well-rounded is not one that you're looking to activate, and all alone is so situational that again, just not really viable here. 88 speed, 88 acceleration, and then low to mid 80 shooting. I do love the build of this card. So he is a perfect right-handed winger and someone that that is slowly building up your team. You're just starting out. You don't have any X factors. Maybe this is a really good card. 88 and above in speed is a very big advantage early in this game, especially when you combine it with someone who has a decent wrist shot. If he had like Light the Lamp or Applesauce, he would be lights out. But a very, very good card that you guys should watch out for sure. Then we've got the 84 Zach Werenski with Protector and Heat Seeker. I do really like the Heat Seeker zone ability. If you are able to, get wrist shots from the point, you take your shots correctly, you're looking for tips. This is the superstar ability that is very, very good. I really like Protector on a lot of cards. However, I think that there's better ones like Guardian, for example. It helps out with body checking. However, Protector will get his slap shot accuracy up a little bit. But again, this one's kind of hard to activate because you would need 5, and that means that's 5 cards that doesn't have Thief or Fly the Zone or Distributor. But 86 speed, 86 acceleration, and he's big at 6'2". This is a very good starter defenseman for sure. We'll take a look at what he's going for in the auction house. This is on PS5. About 20K, kind of pricey, but honestly, this would be a nice card to go along with like the 84 Quinn Hughes because again, he's just bigger and can play defense a little bit better. Next up, we've got the 84 Andrei Svechnikov with Protector and Puck on a String. 86 speed, 86 acceleration, and he's got a great shot. This is a very, very good card. Again, a nice winger card. Andrei Svechnikov cards are actually really, really good because of the ability to hold on to the puck. He's got decent speed, a very good shot. This is for sure a non-master set card early on in the game. This is a really nice one to go out and get. 14,000. Yeah, I was going to say anything under 20 is nice, but yeah, I'm all about this. We've got the 84 Alex Pietrangelo with Magician and Shutdown. Guys, I have now confirmed Shutdown is the best ability that you can have on your team. I don't think it's the ultimate zone ability. However, it's the price and how often you use it that makes this so effective. So it's 6'3", 85 speed, 85 acceleration. Magician is kind of tough to activate on this one because again, a Magician is just not one that you're looking to activate this, at least early on. But 86 slap shot power, 80 accuracy. Anytime you get a defenseman that's got over 80 in both, that's valuable. He's got great size. This is for sure one of the better right-handed defensemen, again, outside of the master items and icons. And then we've got the 86 Jack Eichel with Gladiator, 6'2", and Elite Edges. The one thing I want to say, guys, I need to mention, these cards cannot be used for a tier upgrade or the final tier for their X Factor cards. I need to make sure that people know that. I got some DMs saying the people that bought Austin Matthews, who we're going to talk about in a little bit, and couldn't put him in the final tier to upgrade him to 91. You cannot use those cards to upgrade their X Factor, so don't go in thinking that any new card that comes out for Jack Eichel you can use instead of his base item. It does not work like that, so I really want people to understand that. So he's got Gladiator, which I really like on this card for sure. Elite Edges I'm not huge on. 90 speed, 90 acceleration, and a high 80 shooting. I really, really like Jack Eichel cards. You can't really use them at center, but however, this is a really good build and a really nice card early on if you're looking for, again, a non-X Factor, non-master set player, no doubt. We'll take a look at what he's going for. Again, the new sets that came out does impact it right now. 35, around 35 is about right. I actually really like that price. So he looks like he's not even going for that. So you might be able to get him around 30 by the time Saturday or Sunday rolls around. All right, guys, on to the master set players. We've got the 86 Nick Suzuki with Thief and Gladiator as its options as its first one, and Heart and Soul. Now, Heart and Soul is not one you're going to be able to activate more often than not. He's got Quick Draw, which is nice. I really like Quick Draw as his superstar ability, and his own ability of Ankle Breaker is not one you're going to want to waste your ability points on. However, Quick Draw on a player that only has 75 faceoffs is a little weird. However, if you get Thief and Heart and Soul activated, it gets all the way up to 83. So 75 is fine on the draw, and Quick Draw is a really, really good superstar ability. So you can use him at center, no doubt. Like a winger, 90 speed, 91 acceleration, 91 agility, mid to high 80 shooting, deking all above 90. No body checking, so it's in his own zone. Will be a bit of a liability, but I really like the build of this card for a winger. And if you're strapped for centerman, there is not a lot of great centermen out out there right now. You could use him at center as well, but I'm not big on righty centers. So, but nonetheless, really, really, really nice card. And we've got the 86 Seth Jones with Light the Lamp and Applesauce as his first option. Then he's got Bombarded. A really nice combo to have Bombarded on any of your defensemen. Born Leader is his superstar ability. Not really going to want to put anything into that because it only activates when he scores. And then Thunderclap, again, I am not big on the Thunderclap zone ability because you just don't score a lot of point shots right now. And it's kind of situational. I think Shutdown is just far better, so I wouldn't spend 8 points on it. However, he does have 88 speed, which is phenomenal, 87 acceleration, and 87 agility. Slapshot, it's at 90, 83 on the accuracy with Bombarded activated, which is really nice. And, body checking 84 at 6'4". This is one of the best right-handed defensemen in the game currently, and someone you should definitely look out for if you weren't able to get Seth Jones's X Factor card. I hope you listened to me early in the week when I said to go out and grab him because he did turn into be one of the best cards that you're going to be able to use for a long time. We've got the 88 Tuukka Rask, goalie master set players, always the ones that are ignored for the most part. 6'3" with buzzing or wingman as his first synergy, and protector and booming shot. So I will say this: goalies offer a lot of options and customizations for synergies for your team, which is nice. Post to post is an excellent superstar ability for goaltenders. The more I think about it, and zone ability of dialed in. You're not going to want to activate this. It's just so situational. You got to make sure you get 15 shots against in a game, and that's really not going to make a difference, in my opinion. Again, goaltenders, it's your defense that is going to be your best goaltender. So when we take a look at his stats, guys, the most important stat outside of the goaltender's height is his speed. And this one's got it in spades at 88, his aggression down at 74. That is a phenomenal combo. So for anyone that doesn't know what aggression does on goaltenders, it is a personality trait. It is not so much an attribute. So basically what it determines is the higher the aggression, let's say he has 99 aggression, the more he will come way out of his crease to block shots. Why is that not effective? Well, because on one-timers, it means that he's way too far out to get across to stop those one-timers. It's going to be an absolute mess. And on breakaways, they come way out of the net if you don't manually control him, and it's just an automatic goal. So you want lower aggression. Under 75 is nice, but under 80 is kind of the limit. It's, again, they sit back further in their net, and they're able to go back and forth to stop that cross-ice meta. So a really good goaltender, but I'm going to talk about the cost and acquiring master sets. Goaltenders are always the last thing to look at on your team. I'm talking about even after you've found your fourth line. So I would not go out and chase this card, but I think for the Hut Rich, this is probably one of the best goaltenders in the game right now, if not the best. Then we've got the 88 Victor Hedman with Workhorse and Magician, as well as Bombarded or Light the Lamp. So I really like Bombarded on him. And then Magician, I wouldn't really recommend. I'd much rather go Workhorse because that does get his acceleration up to 87. He's got one of the best defensive superstar abilities in Quick Pick. And then Heat Seeker, which, again, I hate the cost. Anything over like 5 for one player is a significant cost that you're going to have to pay. So I'm not big on that one. But 86 speed, which is low. Again, for players that struggle, you're outside Division 3 and below. You got to be careful with guys like this that are so big that don't have good speed, because if you don't play the rush correctly, you're going to give up 2-on-1s and breakaways a ton. However, once you learn, and again, you'll learn on my channel if you don't know already, this is one of the best cards in his own zone. Once you're in your own zone and you're defending, there's going to be very few cards in the game that are better than Victor Hedman right now and in the future. So 86 speed, 87 acceleration with Workhorse. In my opinion, you need to get Workhorse activated. So if you do invest in this card, you need to find players that have Workhorse. Slapshot at 92 is great. Accuracy is actually somewhat usable because Hedman always has some of the worst shooting. Body checking 90. Deking is at 80, so he's going to play really stiff. Passing is 92. Defensive awareness and stick checking are almost perfect. This is a phenomenal card. There's no way to look around it. This is one of the best left-handed defensemen in the game. Then we've got the 91 Austin Matthews with Fly the Zone and Spark, as well as Thief and Gladiator. I really like Thief on this card if you're going to play him at center. Gladiator is nice as well. He's got Yoink and Close Quarters. Not going to lie, I hate both on this card, which is why I think, or which makes his X Factor that much better. However, 90 speed with fly the zone activated, 88 acceleration. He's got one of the best shots in the game, all above 95 essentially. He's got 99 offensive awareness with synergies activated. His passing's great. His body checking's good for the fact he's 6'3", and defensively, 94 defensive awareness, 98 stick checking, and 88 faceoffs with both of these synergies activated. There's no overlooking this. This is one of, if not, the best card in the game in terms of just versatility. But obviously, the people are going to be, awfully tough to go out and get him when a lot of players, and I recommend it as well, got Austin Matthews' X Factor, because this card cannot go into his X Factor. But if you did not choose Austin Matthews' X Factor, this card is actually pretty cheap to obtain, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, no overlooking it. This is a phenomenal card. And then we've got the 91 Jaromir Jagr with Distributor and Workhorse, as well as Magician and Well-Rounded. So, let's talk about Jaromir Jagr. 6'3", unbelievable size, elite size. And why I talk about size for anyone that doesn't realize, the bigger the player is, the harder he is to bump off the puck. I'm not talking about the huge open ice hits. I'm talking about when you are holding the puck in the offensive zone and someone is smashing up on the right thumbstick, trying to bump you off. You'll see those animations if you haven't noticed them already, where players are trying to bump you and you don't even acknowledge it. That's more than likely because you have a phenomenal or a very, very big player, or someone that has unbelievable balance stat and puck control. So he has everything. It is going to be very difficult to get the puck off Jaromir Jagr. And if you get Magician activated, his deking, agility, and puck control is elite. Ankle Breaker wouldn't look to activate. And Unstoppable Force, while it's great when you know how to use it, at 8 ability points, probably not going to activate it. Let's talk about, though, what to do about Jaromir Jagr. Because a lot of players, first of all, he's Jaromir Jagr, which is incredible. If you're a Pens fan, you like Jaromir Jagr, go out and get him. I want to talk long-term because this is something I discussed on my stream, and I don't know what I want to do with Jaromir Jagr because you can use sets to make him untradeable. We're going to talk about that, and I don't know if making him untradeable is the right move just because he's only got 88 speed, and while 88 isn't bad now, spending the significant cost to get him, especially for free-to-play players, in 6 weeks to 2 months, 88 is going to be tough to keep up with. Nonetheless, he's got one of the best shots in the game, and that's really not going to change. Everything else is phenomenal. So he is one of the best cards in the game, but we're going to talk about his sets and value in just a little bit. All right, guys, let's dig into the sets and how you acquire these cards. At first glance, it is very confusing. This is entirely a new format on how events work, and if you're new to Hockey Ultimate Team, I just want to talk about some terms. So master set players, those refer to the guys that have card art, the ones that are the highlights of the events. So whenever I say master set player, that's what I'm referring to. Jack Eichel, the 86, he has the normal card art for this event. That's not a master item. That's just one of the better players in the event. So I just want to make sure everyone's up to speed on that. All right, guys, so now let's take a look at these sets. You see here, you load in, you've got two options. You've got the limited time Superstar Origins sets as well as the Superstar Origins sets. These are phenomenal additions to the game, and I'm going to talk why in a little bit, but we're going to talk about the limited time ones, obviously, because it is running right now, and you see here on the timer, this event will run for 2 weeks. So you load in here, and you've got set paths for every single master set item. You've also got 3 at the end here that are mostly ones that you can ignore. So for example, this one right here, you trade in 15 gold players. It could be anything, 74 overall non-NHLers, and you'll get a collectible that you can use in some of these sets as opposed to doing the other methods to get collectibles. Then you can also do, for 6 of these, you can get a loan item of one of the master set items. I wouldn't recommend doing this either. That card will just disappear. And then you can trade in 3 for a pack. I also wouldn't recommend that because these collectibles are valuable when making the sets. I will say this, if you have no intention of making any of the master sets, I would definitely do the pack one at least because you might as well use it for that. All right, let's take a look at how these sets will operate, okay? And then we'll talk about if you should do them or not. So Austin Matthews, here's how it works. You load in here, and you want to get the 88 Austin Matthews set so you can start out here. Here is how you do it. Let's pretend you don't have any card. All right, here's how it works. You got to trade in 35 gold players. It could be non-NHLers, could be whatever, doesn't matter, as well as 187 overall items. So that 187 does make things tricky. For example, the only 87s that I would recommend trading in, if you have an untradeable Crosby or you have an untradeable Draisaitl, this would be a perfect way to cash in on that. For example, if you've seen my God Squad team, I have Crosby. I packed him untradeable. He's a good card, don't get me wrong. I have no intention of going out and getting his X Factor card because I'm not huge on Sidney Crosby cards. I can now use him in these sets, which is awesome, which is a phenomenal addition to the game. These sets, guys, in this event has made literally every card that you pack valuable. Literally every single card is now valuable, and that is one of the huge additions to the game that I love. All right, so now you've done that, you're going to get an 88 overall Austin Matthews card. You can now upgrade to the 89 version. So you can cash in the 88 Austin Matthews, as well as 44 more gold players, 2 event collectibles, and 5 gold jerseys. So again, you're going to see the cost starts to become pretty substantial here. That'll get you the 89, and then it gets a little bit different in terms of the required overall. So you can do the 89 Matthews. You'll get 6 more 83 items, 83 overall players, it doesn't matter who they are, and then 2 more Superstar Origin collectibles, and then you can get the 90. As you'll see here, this is a progression. Then you can get the 91, so 1 more 84 overall item, and then 8 gold players, it could be any of them, and 1 Superstar Origin, and then you will unlock the 91, the card art, the new master set player for this event. So now that we understand how they work, Jaromir Jagr is the exact same cost for his master set item. Again, you have to understand that these are untradeable. You are locked in. You have to wait for EA to release a set that requires a 91 overall card to ever use them again. So they are on your lineup for a very long time. You can't sell, which is what leads me to, think that we might want to avoid these sets if you're looking at total value, but we'll talk about that in a second. Tuukka Rask requires a little bit less, obviously, but I would not do this set at all unless you're super hut rich, and even if you are, I probably wouldn't do it, but it is substantially cheaper. So an 84 overall item, and then, about 10 gold players will get you the 85 Tuukka Rask, and honestly, that might be a useful card. And then again, the price increases. So the 85 one, as well as 7 gold players, any goalie masks, and then 2 Superstar Origins. I love how they made goalie masks have some value, which is huge. Moving on, the 87 requires the 86. 3 83 to 85 items. They don't have to be goalies. They can be anything. Some more players and Superstar Origins. And you see as they go here. So this set is not expensive at all. But, when you think in terms of what will help you win more games or be in more games, the goaltender is not going to help you. So on to the other ones, we've got Victor Hedman as well as Seth Jones. The Victor Hedman set, we'll take a look here. And it's the same situation in terms of the cost here. So the 84, and then you've got 10 gold player items. Victor Hedman is very interesting. I'll talk about him. If you did not get his X Factor card, it is very expensive to do so, and there just isn't a lot out there. This card specifically will be on your roster for a while. Again, we'll talk about values in just a little bit. And then lastly, you've got Seth Jones and Nick Suzuki. If you did not get Seth Jones's X Factor, you don't want to spend like the 100 or 200K that it's going for. I would 100% same situation as Victor Hedman. Go out and make these because it is very cheap. 82 plus 4 more gold players will get you his 83, which is what his base X Factor was, that the final tier of it already. Then he's got the 83 plus 2 more gold players, 2 jerseys, and a collectible. And then the next one for the 85 is the 84, and then you've got 5 80 OVR items, and this is insanely cheap. In prior events, guys, in prior years, you would have not been able to obtain really any of these if you were free to play. In this, you can easily obtain multiple of them, and they're all very useful, especially early on in the game. And then Nick Suzuki as well. Again, same cost, or roughly the same cost. We'll take a look. We've got an 81 overall item and any gold player to get you the 82, and then the 84 will cost you, and the 82 plus 8 more players and the Superstar Origin collectible, and then it just improves even more from there. So the 84 with 5 more 80 overall items, and then Superstar Origin tray. So you see here that every single card now has value that you pull, and the final one is an 85, an 83 item, and an Origin collectible, and then you will get that final one. So let's talk about if you should do these sets, guys. So if we're talking Austin Matthews, let's pretend you don't have any of the cards. To make this Austin Matthews, he will be untradeable. Or Jaromir Jagr, you're looking at 192,800 coins. That is a huge investment for a card that in 2 months is going to be, specifically with Jaromir Jagr, going to be hard to keep up with other players. And even Austin Matthews doesn't have exceptional speed. Again, we're talking long-term here. Right now, they're the best in the game, so don't overthink that. Now, before we get into if we should go out and get these cards, let's take a look at the Superstar Origin set. So you also see here, this is not on a timer, guys. That means that these cards will be available to be made untradeable anytime throughout the rest of the game. So if you've played NHL in the past, once an event is over and you didn't cash in on those cards, you didn't grind or cash in all the cards you have to take part in the event, you cannot get these cards anymore. However, now they're going to be in the game and able to be obtained even when the event ends. That is such a huge win for this game mode. I couldn't be happier that they made this. Now, I will say this, it is much more expensive. I'm not going to get into the cost for everything, but it does increase the cost to make exponentially. So if you are really interested in making them, don't just bank on doing it after. I would really try to do it while the event is going on, but just know that you can actually make them later on and be completely okay. So now let's talk about how you obtain these collectibles, these event collectibles. It is going to be done mostly in hut challenges. So if you go to single player, you will see here there's a Superstar Origins section, and then in here you go through in the master item team challenges. You'll go through, if you complete all of these, you will get 16 event collectibles. So that's an easy way to get everything done there if you need enough to make multiple of them. The other way to obtain collectibles would be through the objectives. So if you get out back to the main screen, go down to Hut Central and then objectives, you'll see here that you can go down to Superstar Origins, and completing these options or these objectives, you will unlock another collectible. It says Austin Matthews 4 goals in squad battles, rivals, or hut champs. You don't have to do it with Austin Matthews. Same with Jaromir Jagr, Seth Jones. You don't have to do this. It's cumulative. So Austin Matthews could be done in one game. Jaromir Jagr, and we go down to get all of these. That will get you another 6. So there's a total of 24 that you can make towards, you know, these event items or the pack or anything like that. And if you want to talk about just Austin Matthews and Jaromir Jagr, it will cost you 5 each, so that's 10. So this is more than enough, and they give it to you for free by just doing the objectives as well as the offline hut challenges. All right, so should you buy them? Okay, it's like, should you invest? Should you avoid? What ones should you get? Let's take a look at just the cost of tradable ones right off the rip. So Seth Jones, in my opinion, one of the best right-handed defensemen that you can get in the game right now. Like, in my opinion, I think he's better than the Dougie Hamilton right now. The only card I think that really beats him is Adam Foote, and there's so few people that can actually obtain that card. So we'll take a look at what his price is, and he's 105 right here. Like, he's not even selling for 100K. I really like this card. The one downfall, obviously, is that he is not upgradable. So 105,000 coins is a little bit tough to actually spend. Have the added fact that you could sell him, you know, if you were done with him, you know, enough cards come out, you're kind of hut rich, maybe you've got a couple 100,000 coins, but if you're free to play, I would honestly make Seth Jones. I think that it is cheap enough. It doesn't require an exponential amount, and the benefit from adding one of the best defensemen as opposed to trying to go all in to add Matthews and Jagr is not going to be as impactful as getting one of the best defensemen in the game. There is a lot of forwards that you can get for far cheaper that will give you enough value, whereas this defenseman is just, there's not very many like him. So same with Nick Suzuki. He is dropping in price considerably. He's at 70,000 right now, and no one's buying it. Again, much cheaper to just make, and I do like the ability that you could put him at center with that quick draw ability, and if you have Thief and Heart and Soul activated, it makes him far better. But he's a really good winger card. Like, this kind of looks like Artemi Panarin with a little bit worse shot, but again, you could play him at center, and there is not a lot of good centers in the game. I don't know if I would go out if I was free to play to make him, but the cost is so cheap to just make these cards in terms of the, you know, the untradables and whatnot. And you've seen that because they're making every card valuable in the sense that you could trade in 85s, 86s, and 87s for future cards, it makes me think that you could get away with making this card untradeable and still being okay in the future and not losing out on a ton of value. But I would probably hold off. I think that there is better base cards that you can go out and get, things like that, for the roughly the same price. So Nick Suzuki, I would probably hold off on. All right, Tuukka Rask, you can see here, he is very expensive. Early on, these goaltenders that have high attributes, I know the meme is that goalies don't matter, and for the most part, defense is how you play or how you get a better goalie, but attributes do matter. So the higher the attribute in terms of like glove high, the faster frame by frame they will move their glove. High speed, very valuable. 6'3", that's enough speed, and the combination and the customization of the synergies and that post-to-post superstar ability is very, very interesting. However, am I spending 100,000 on a goaltender? Absolutely not. And would I spend the amount of coins required in untradables and tradable gold players to get him? No. This would be an avoid unless you are hut rich. Like I said, you've made your entire roster. You are stacked. Like you have a team like mine. Then I would consider it, but at the very end, like I would rather have the 82 Ben Bishop. All right, Victor Hedman, should you go out and grab? This one is the toughest for me to recommend because the cost is significant. There is a strong chance you can't make Yager or Matthews, but you could make one of a couple of the 86s or maybe the 88 Victor Hedman. If you are someone who's free to play, you're probably never going to be able to afford the X Factor Victor Hedman, especially now because his 88 is out, and it's going to be awfully difficult. If you have Workhorse and Bombarded and get Quick Pick activated, you've got one of the best left-handed defensemen in the game. Outside of maybe Ulf Samuelsson and Francois Beauchemin, and the only way to get those is to spend hundreds of thousands of coins. I would never advocate for untradables, but defense is just such a hard thing to acquire. Here is what I would recommend. If your first line does not feature a high-end player, or maybe two, so you don't have base McKinnon, or, X Factor Austin Matthews, maybe a base McDavid, anyone that's got really high speed, maybe you've got X Factor Kane, Barzal, you've got a couple of those, then I think getting Victor Hedman would be huge because, again, there's just not very many good left-handed defense. With Quick Pick activated, it makes him so good. I would probably make him untradeable, and you'll be okay. 86 speed is super rough, especially in about 2 months. However, I will have a video that comes out that shows you how to use this card effectively, and as long as you pair him with someone like Cale Makar, you're laughing because in your own zone, this is the best card in the game. Now, Austin Matthews and Jaromir Jagr. Again, this one is really difficult to recommend because, in all honesty, if you listen to me, you probably have the Austin Matthews X Factor, in which case you're just ignoring this card entirely. But Jaromir Jagr. So 200,000 coins to make Jaromir Jagr untradeable. I honestly think that I would do it, and here is why. Right now, with Distributor activated, he is probably the best left-handed winger that isn't Connor McDavid. I know that Kucherov and other guys that have high speed are going to be valuable. And honestly, speed and wrist shot power and accuracy are the most important attributes. But once you get in the zone with Jaromir Jagr, it's like having a 6'6" defenseman. You're just not going to be able to get him off the puck, and you're going to be able to hold on to it. And the meta this year is to hold on to the puck and walk out in front for a wrap or a pass in front. And I'm going to show you how to use that effectively. I think I would be okay with making Jaromir Jagr, but only if you have about half the price or half of the gold players required to actually acquire him. So it is going to cost 87 golds. If you have 40 gold players, that really offsets the cost to make it, and I think that I would go ahead and pull the trigger at that point. In terms of the tradable price for Jaromir Jagr, I don't think I would do it. It's 400K right now. There's one up for 399. I don't think I would do it. And again, the reason why is that eventually there will be a master set that comes out in a future event that will require a 91. And at that point, you could just trade in Jaromir Jagr there. The one thing that they have done is made sure that every card in the game has value for the longevity of the game. And that is a gigantic change. And I think that is going to be the hardest thing for people to get over. All right, guys, lastly, let's just talk about the packs that are in the store. I get questions about this every single time. There is a choice pack here that is free. And you can go ahead and open up, and that will give you, I believe, the loan cards. Yeah, you've got the loan, Jagr, and Matthews. Honestly, open this pack up first and try Jagr out. If your play style does not fit him, then you know. I love that they put this in there because that really, really helps you out. Also, if you have the X Factor Austin Matthews, I'm going to release a video about what to do about future X Factors because the cost is significant. I would try out Austin Matthews if you have the Matthews X Factor because you need to know if the change from 91 is that substantial that will really give you the juice required to invest that many coins. So I'm going to take Jagr here. I'm going to try him out and see how he plays. Now, the other packs that are in the store, this special pack, it's going to be in every event. So it's 15 items, including a power-up collectible, which has a value of about 20,000 coins. A week 1 player item that does not include master items, guys. So that's Eichel, Svechnikov, for example, and a guaranteed 80+ overall item. In all honesty, I don't think this is worth it enough because the power-up collectible only offsets about 20,000 coins. If you get, Frederick Olofsson as your week 1 player, and then like Brock Nelson, you've just put 25,000 coins down the drain, and I don't think that the cards that you can pull are worth it. So I would not do this pack with coins. These other packs mimic the ones that were in the training camp. In all honesty, if you're going to spend money, I would probably avoid them. Go after these ones. Any of these ones that are limited are the ones that are big, the big juicers that you can have some huge pulls with. All right, guys, so that is everything you need to know about this event. Make sure that you join the Discord, as we've got 2,000 people, in over 2,000 now, just discussing Hockey Ultimate Team at all times. And make sure you come check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/NoSleeves12. I go live every single day at 11 a.m. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.